What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and this is kind of odd. I know, I don't usually do like the breaking news shtick on YouTube. I usually leave that up to guys like my buddy OKFabe, who does a much better job of that than I do. But just got home. For those of you that don't know, I was at a wedding this weekend. If you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, you can see what your buddy, your pal Spaz Phoenix, looks like in a suit. If that's something that interests you, it's not really my cup of tea, but whatever. A lot of people seem to be getting a laugh out of it, so have your fun. WWE has released the official rules, regulations, and procedures for the WWE 2016 draft, and I thought this was worth mentioning because, as we know, this is going to be a very, very big week of wrestling. We've got Monday with the title match, we've got Tuesday with the SmackDown going live, and, sorry, not only SmackDown going live, but also the brand extension itself, also the draft, all happening that day. NXT is going to be business as usual, as far as I know. And, of course, we have Battleground coming up this Sunday. So this will sort of set the table for the rest of the week. The rules for the WWE draft are as follows. Raw gets the first overall pick. Now, a lot of people are going to not like this. Oh, of course, Raw gets the upper hand. Rah. No pun intended. It does make sense, though. Raw has been the flagship show of the WWE forever, and no matter what incarnation of SmackDown you want to refer to, I mean, last time there was a brand extension draft deal, a lot of people preferred SmackDown over Raw. Me, I like people like Edge and Angle and Benoit and my boy Jeff Hardy. We're all on SmackDown, but for all intents and purposes, Raw was here first. First come, first serve. I don't mind that at all. Since SmackDown Live is a 2-hour show and Raw is a 3-hour show, every 2 picks SmackDown Live receives, Raw will receive 3 picks. Now, again, this feels very uneven. It feels like they're stacking Raw more than they're stacking SmackDown. Now, I don't like that the shows are uneven, but if they're going to keep those two schedules the way that they are, it does make a lot of sense if you've got it in the sense of they both got the same size roster. One is going to be feeling incredibly stretched doing 3 hours, and one of them is going to feel incredibly condensed doing 2 hours. So while I don't like the fact that the scheduling isn't going to change, a decision like this based on that scheduling does make sense. It does lead me to believe, although nothing's mentioned here, that Raw might get 2 of the mid-card titles and SmackDown might only get 1. Like, Raw might get Intercontinental Tag and Women's divisions. SmackDown might get, I don't know, what's the other titles? Fuck. You guys know what I mean, though. There's the 2 mid-card titles, there's the Women's division, there's the Tag division, and hopefully the Cruiserweight division coming up. So say SmackDown gets the United States and Cruiserweight divisions, Raw gets the Women's, Intercontinental, and Tag Team divisions. Again, with one show being like legitimately larger than the other one, something like that might make sense, but I don't want to see all the tag teams on one show. I don't want to see all the women on one show. I don't want to see all the cruiserweights on one show. But I also don't want 2 sets of titles for each of those divisions. So that is something that has not yet been addressed. The title situation in general hasn't been addressed. You guys know that follow me on social media. I passed around that sweet-ass looking picture of the silver modernized, what the hell is it called? The silver modernized Winged Eagle belt, which as far as I know, is only a rumor, but if that's going to be a belt soon, might be something to look at. Tag teams count as 1 pick unless the commissioner or general manager specifically wants only 1 member of the team. Now, this tells me a couple of things. This tells me, on the whole, they're not going to do like they did in days gone by, break up the Dudleys, break up the APA, break up the Hardys, break up everybody. They're not going to do that. So a lot of the teams are going to be drafted as teams, and they're not going to fuck everything up. They may not use the draft as a way to break up the New Day, for example. But the fact that they've added in that little bit, except if specifically requested by the commissioner or general manager, tells me it is going to happen that one token time in the draft. And I have a guess as to who that's going to be if we're going to get there in the moment. 6 draft picks are available from NXT. Now, whether 2 go to Raw, 4 go to SmackDown, 1 goes to Raw, 5 goes to SmackDown, 3 on each show, whatever, we can speculate as to who they'll be. If I was to pick, I'm not saying which show I'd put them on, but I would say Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, Eric Young, Finn Balor, obviously, Bayley, obviously, and one of the jobber divas, either Eva Marie or Nia Jax. I would leave Asuka on NXT. I would leave Joe on NXT. I would leave Shinsuke Nakamura on NXT. Because we don't want to deplete NXT completely. But it kind of, when we know that there's only going to be 6 choices made from NXT, it kind of depletes the idea of, oh, anybody can pick anything at any time, when if there's somebody goes to make a 7th choice from NXT and we can't make one. But that's neither here nor there. And here we go, not including NXT, obviously, the male superstars available for draft. Big breath. AJ Styles, Alberto Del Rio, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Big Show, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Darren Young with Bob Backlund, so I guess they're a unit, Dean Ambrose, the WWE Champion, Demon Kane, it says specifically, Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, Jack Swagger, John Cena, Kalisto, Kevin Owens, Mark Henry, Neville, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Rusev with Lana, so I'm guessing they're a unit, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Sin Cara, The Miz with Maurice, your Intercontinental Champion, Titus O'Neil, and Zack Ryder. Tag teams available for draft: Breezango, Enzo and Cass, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Golden Truth, the Shining Stars, the Social Outcasts, the Ascension, the Dudleys, the New Day, the Usos, and the Vaudevillains. Now, what I take from this so far is, you'll notice the Lucha Dragons are not listed in the draftable tag teams, which is only reinforced by the fact that they are listed in the individual available male talent. I don't know if this was a precursor. I don't know if this is just a flub by WWE.com, but I will say my early guess is that Sin Cara and Kalisto are going to be that one tag team that gets split up in the draft. And of course, you've got your available female stars: Alicia Fox, for a laugh, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, the WWE Champion, Dana Brooke, Eva Marie. Eva Marie's listed on the main roster, I don't know why. Naomi, who's pointless, Natalia, Paige, Summer Rae, and Sasha Banks. Now, here's the cool thing about this. We've talked and talked and talked and talked about when is Finn Balor coming up from NXT. Now, had some comments from Finn Balor, and I have to flip my screen over, and it's going to make this go dark. Many people don't know that part of the lighting for my videos is from my computer monitor. So when I go to something dark like NoDQ.com, which is where I'm getting this from, my face is going to be dark. I don't know if any of you actually care about that, but that's a thing. Prior to a live event this past weekend, there was a Q&A featuring Finn Balor, and somebody on Facebook Live asked, sort of through Tom Phillips, his thoughts on the WWE draft, where he thinks he's going to end up, etc. And his quote is, "Despite what you may think, I am normally the last person to find out anything. I'm not sure how the draft works, whether it's only people who are currently on Raw or SmackDown, whether it includes past people, whether it includes alumni, and or can we draft the entire WWE universe? Can I draft myself some fans? Or can Mr. Regal draft somebody back to NXT? I would love to see John Cena in NXT or Randy Orton." Now, that sentence alone makes a lot of people cringe at the thought of somebody like a Randy Orton or a John Cena being in NXT. But I think that's meant as a diversion. I think every time Finn Balor says, "Oh, I don't know, I'm staying in NXT, you know, I'm not going anywhere, guys. I don't know anything." It's one of those, he doth protest too much. It's very, very obvious that either during the draft or during Battleground, we are going to see the main roster debut of Finn Balor, and that'll sort of be decided by where AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson end up. But interesting bits. It's more clear cut. I don't know how many of you watching this video right now remember the last time that Raw and SmackDown were 2 separate shows. They did the draft so many different ways. You know, you had guys with tumblers, and then one year you had it so that whoever won a match on the show got a pick for their team. It was very, very fugazi. It was very, very messy as far as the structure, and then people just sort of went where they wanted after. Anyways, I think Triple H was traded for the Dudleys and Booker T one year, which doesn't make any sense at all. I like that it's a little bit more clear-cut. I like that they're being right front and forward with it, like it's an actual sporting draft, which is really neat. So the audience knows what the rules are. The audience knows what the parameters and the possibilities are, and we get to go in to Tuesday with a much clearer image of what we can expect, and that's really, really cool. like I say, there's people I want to see come up from NXT. There's people I definitely want to, I adamantly want to stay in NXT. There, and as far as who goes to what show, it doesn't do any good to say who wants who to go on what show, because we don't know what either show is going to look like. So we don't know what show is going to suit what talent until the night. Obviously, Raw's going to be the heels. SmackDown is going to be the baby faces with the way Shane and Stephanie felt. Raw is bigger. SmackDown's the underdog. We're going to get that vibe for sure. But other than that, we'll have to wait until Tuesday. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye.